Hi, I'm Parker Miley,
I'm Tim Benjamin.
and this is the Rage Podcast, where today we are going to discuss a lot of things, but accountability. That's the better word. That's the better word.
Yep.
Accountability is what we're going to discuss today, and I find it to be very fitting that we film the Rage today, considering the weather outside
It's frightful.
is very frightful. Lightning, thunder. So if you ever hear a big loud crash,
Yeah.
or if the room suddenly goes dark,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, but we're doing this off the battery on my laptop, so we'll still continue recording.
When you hear me scream, just know we will continue on moments later.
Yeah. So we're in the one room here in the church that's not leaking right now, so that's good too.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But I got it. I have a little bit of a lead up before we go any further into this. Last Wednesday, I was given the privilege to go to St. Mary's Rotary. Is that what it's called?
Yep.
St. Mary's Rotary? Okay. And Jim Jordan was in town, and he was going to look around and see all. He was doing other things than just go to Rotary, but he was there to talk. And I am a big fan of Jim Jordan. I find him to be the person who says it how it is, and isn't in his. I align very much so with what he pretty much is fighting for.
Yep.
Okay, that's my where I stand with Jim Jordan.
DeSantis and Jordan.
Yeah.
2024.
Yeah. Yep. Wow. Okay, but but no, and so I was sitting in here, and he kind of went on about how there's all these things, and obviously it was a kind of a big week with Roe v. Wade and all these things.
A lot to talk about.
A lot to talk about, and how under the current administration that we have, he kind of, I don't want to say it was all doom and gloom, but there was a lot of doom and gloom going on. Right?
True.
That's just kind of how the state.
Well, I mean,
we like-minded people like Jim Jordan.
Yeah, when you look around, gas prices and inflation and the prices of things and
you
the
can't
availability of stuff.
You can't deny that there's a lot of bad things going on right now. And I was frustrated, and I don't want to say I was frustrated by what he had to say, because in the large scale, the government only can do so much control to fix these things. And here's what I'm going to say. And there's what kind of starts it off. Because he kind of went on, he said, there's gas prices, there's all these people now starting to riot in the streets again over Roe v. Wade, and you have the border crisis, several bad things going on. And he says, he pretty much said, and there's not much we can do about it now until the year 2024. And hopefully we show up for an election and we get someone, and he also mentioned, which I thought was very truthful, about how the executive branch really controls all of U.S. politics in this current day and age, when that's not supposed to be the case. Yeah. We have 3 branches, and there's supposed to be checks and balances between all of them, which I agree with him. He was very truthful. It's no longer like that anymore. If the executive branch has far too much power and control, and we're probably not going to be able to fix that until the fall of the United States.
Yeah. Well, what a lot of people fail to realize, let me just say this about the government, is it was designed for gridlock. And I know many of us get disappointed and frustrated with how long things take, but that's what it was designed to do. Because if we agree with something, of course we want it to fly through, but that's not what it was designed to do. It was designed to be thought about and making sure that we hear from both sides, both the majority and the minority, so that everybody's voice gets heard regardless.
Yeah, it
was designed to do that.
It's pretty much making sure that when you are proposed to vote on something or like that, you have so much time to where if you're doing your job correctly, you will have a very good grasp and understanding of what it is and how it will affect people.
And it's frustrating by design, because it's not supposed to go fast.
Yeah, because if you were just saying, oh, I like this right here, bam, and then you don't realize all the large picture that comes
a lot of ramifications
behind what happens.
Yep.
Yeah, see, so yeah, good point, Tim, but yes. But right now, yes, I feel like you mentioned the executive branch has a lot of power, and therefore we cannot do anything really until 2024. And that was like, once I heard that, I was like, well, this is stupid. This is all stupid, okay?
Which is something Parker often decides.
Yes. And again, I was like, I like Jim Jordan. I just didn't like what he had to say that day. He spoke the truth, and it wasn't something I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear something a little bit more. Here's what we can do, but he pretty much said we can't do anything until election season comes around. Yep. Would you agree with that? Because Tim was there as well.
Yeah, I was there, and he did say that, and he's probably right. As much as we don't want to hear it. At least partially right. However, I don't know that I'm willing to sit on it for 2 years and wait.
He's right in the eyes of the government. In the eyes of government, he is very correct.
Which is not correct across the board. Yes.
Which is not correct across the board.
Yeah.
So, and here's what I'm going to say. I want the truth, okay? And now, and if you watch, if you're like me and Tim and have the same kind of viewing platforms that we like to watch on certain things, you know that the term truth has become a threatening word to some people.
It's become subjective, which is exactly the opposite of what truth is.
So what I want is, I want truth. I want to making sure I am constantly on the right side. And if I'm not, I need other people and I need myself to recognize I'm not on the right side. I need
accountability.
Yes, hence accountability, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to know the truth. That is what I want. If I'm going to, and here's why. I'll tell you specifically why I always want to be on the side of truth. Obviously, we are filming this video right now, and we are going to post it on YouTube. Anyone can watch it. Anyone can look up Wayne Street, UMC, YouTube page, go to this episode of The Rage, and hear what I have to say. Pastor Tim is the pastor of a 300-person congregation, and to be a pastor in the current day and age, it's kind of hard to avoid some of the moral corruptness that is going on in the world today. So he has to be pretty truthful and honest and provide and standing for the truth, right? Mm-hmm. So he has to know the truth. I'm the pastor now of a 50-person congregation. I have to making sure I'm providing truth for them as well. This goes down into everything, whether it be politics, religion, morality, all these things. All of them, there is truth.
Yep. If it lacks truth, it has no substance. Yes. There's nothing there to it.
So truth exists. There is. It is out there somehow.
And
that is why.
And unless it's an opinion, it's not subjective.
Yes.
I mean, I could say, I like pizza, which is a true statement, but somebody else may not. That doesn't negate it. It's still true. However, if you're going to talk objective fact, those are not subjective. It is raining outside. That's not subjective.
Truth can be proven.
Correct.
Truth
it has to be able to be verified. Absolutely.
Truth withstands. You can put truth through any trial or any test or whatever it is. It will continue to stay true. You cannot disprove truth. That's how that works, right? I mean, that's what that is. Now, say someone in the current world that we live in, say someone says, I believe blank is true.
Yeah.
Okay? First off, if you're saying I believe, we're already on rocky waters.
Yep. We're already in opinion.
Because that's not how truth works.
And you're allowed to have your own opinion, and they are true to you, and that's great. But you can't say, I feel like today is Friday, because today is Tuesday. It doesn't matter what you feel.
The truth is what makes the world operate, at least with a base understanding.
And that goes with the definition of words and all these different things. As soon as you start changing things around to suit whatever you're doing, suddenly the whole thing falls apart because we can't verify something that's not factual.
Yes. So truth is important. And in current weeks, maybe possibly, I have been seeing a lot of protests has been going on with a lot of things, right? Roe v. Wade is probably the biggest one. There's several peers of mine that are of my age that went to Columbus and many states around the world and are protesting, saying, yada yada yada. You have no right. It's reproductive rights and all these things need to stay around and you know what I'm talking about, right? This has been going on the news for weeks now. Okay. And I see this, and then I see also some debates happen, because that's how a situation like this is supposed to happen, right? Conversation, not just... Yeah, okay, also, you can't just scream blatant nonsense and not expect, if someone has a question, you have to defend yourself.
Yeah, in a conversation, both sides talk. If both sides aren't talking, it's not a conversation.
There's so many problems, but okay, yes. So, in this situation, you're going to have protesters and you're going to have counter-protesters, people that are there to debate,
and
right?
neither side has any interest in listening to the other side for anything,
Sadly, anymore. But that's not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be, you see a person holding a sign that says, I need reproductive rights. And this person says, well, what are reproductive rights? Enlighten me. Tell me what is true about what you're standing for. And you then start conversation. And hopefully one of you will walk away. Hopefully one of you, which doesn't happen anymore just because we've completely shut ourselves as mankind, because truth doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what Parker's getting to is I hope they both will walk away with mutual respect of each other, even if they didn't change each other's mind.
Mutual respect, sure.
Yeah.
But if the debate is productive, someone's going to change your mind.
Think so?
Yep.
Okay.
If a debate happens and it is done correctly and someone is debating, if you're two people debating with no truth, you're just wasting your breath. If someone actually has truth, and again, the problem that I see a lot of people in a lot of liberal-minded people say, well, you're just holding this truth back to yourself. What is this truth that you're locking away in your own brain? You just have
That's code word for I don't agree
Yes.
with what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like, sure, yada, yada, yada. But we all realize...
actually, both sides do that, but yes.
Yeah, but both sides do that.
Yeah.
But yeah. But what we have to realize is, as we mentioned in the beginning, truth exists. There is something out there that is true, okay? So that making sure you remember that throughout the rest of this episode.
And if you're afraid to allow somebody access to that truth, or if you're afraid to allow somebody to challenge that truth,
if you're afraid to defend your truth,
or you're afraid to defend your truth,
not your truth, the truth,
or the truth that you're holding, if you're not allowed to challenge it, or if you're not allowed to let anybody else challenge it, or you're not going to permit somebody else to challenge it, then I'm going to question how well you actually hold it. Because, just like saying today is Tuesday, I'm pretty well sold that today is Tuesday. And if somebody comes in the door and wants to argue as hard as they want that today is Friday, I'm not shaken by that. Fine, it could be Friday to you, but tomorrow's not Saturday, and that could mean something. So if you have a truth, fine, challenge me that it's not Tuesday. Go ahead and challenge that. I don't care. You're not going to win because today is Tuesday, but and that's kind of how it goes. Because I'm confident in it, I don't care if you challenge it. Challenge away. I'm not going to change my mind because I know what the truth is. And that's what Parker's talking about. The nature of the truth is challenges don't bother the truth.
The fact of the matter is you cannot challenge truth.
Oh, you can challenge it,
sure,
but it's not going to tip over.
It's not going to do anything.
Right,
you
that's
cannot
exactly right.
change the fact that today is Tuesday.
Yeah, because you're pushing on a mountain. That's exactly what you're doing.
And so let's go completely into it.
Okay.
All right. So the abortion debate, it's huge right now. And many people my age, I'm sure some of Tim's group, but I see it a lot with my age since we are all on social media and we think we control the world.
That's the truth, by the way.
Yes,
but go ahead.
That's true.
Yeah.
But so they're posting all these things. We're seeing all these things. However, science says if you're going to make a poster, right? You're going to one of these rallies, or you're getting in a debate with someone. Science, the majority of creditable science people in the U.S. and around the world agree that life begins when?
Conception.
All right? Okay, now you go back to what the nation was founded upon, all right? Our core document. So if you're an American, you have this also to be true. See, so some truths don't exist if you're living and depend on where you live in the world, all right? Because America, it is true that we have certain rights and other people don't, all right? That's just how it works. Because we won the lottery by being born in the USA, okay?
Yeah.
But our Declaration of Independence, when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with one another, yada, 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 and you are given a certain unalienable rights for life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, right? So 95% of scientists all agree that life begins at conception, right? So here we have people who did the trials, who have gone through all these things, and we have majority understanding that life begins when. So, all right, the truth is, life begins when, Tim? Conception. There we go.
And the challenge they bring to that then is viability. Okay, so when is that life viable? I mean, that's at least the most popular arguing point to say that that's not true. And I would say, okay, so what about somebody who's having surgery and is sedated? Or what about somebody who may be hooked to a breathing apparatus? Or what about somebody who's sleeping? Honestly, because there's no.
No, but like let's.
But see, you can make those challenges, but it doesn't change the truth. They're still alive. There's still potential life going on there, and that's why I'm not at all upset when people who don't agree with me on the issue of abortion want to challenge me, because, okay, I have respect. You feel the way you do. I disagree, and I may try to change your mind as hard as you're going to try to change mine. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to be shaken from that, because conception is where it happens. That's where life takes place. And I'm not shaken by that. People who don't agree with me I don't like it, but it doesn't bother me. It doesn't jeopardize my position on the issue, because I know where I come down.
Yeah, so Tim mentioned a very valuable point that people will use to make it seem as if, the abortion's still okay and it has every right, reproductive rights needed, yada, 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 whatever you want to call it as. Okay? I have, I live in St. Mary's, Ohio. We are literally the best place on planet Earth anymore.
Again, objective fact. Go ahead.
Yeah. But my family, we all are here. We've never left because we're smart and know that, again, this is the best place on planet Earth, okay?
And I moved here for the same reason, so there you go, yeah.
So, but and because we have certain traditions and certain things we uphold around here. And notice I said traditions, not necessarily truth. That doesn't mean the same thing. But my family, we This week I have 2 family members pass away, and they had the strong belief, I'm not going to go into a nursing home. That's not how they do the things. So the family comes in. The family then has to take care of them as they are pretty much watching them wither away into nothing.
Yeah.
Now,
This is hard work.
It's work.
Yeah.
It can be, and I'll say it can be a burden. It requires something out of you,
Yes.
and all these things. But you do it. Why? Because it's family, and that person, and whoever it may be, still is living, right? You wouldn't just go up to that person saying, "This is too much. Pull the plug." All right. Yes, some situations in our world call for that,
Right.
but that's
Yes,
based
of course.
upon obviously a mutual agreement, probably between the patient
a living
and
will.
yes, yada yada yada. All right, but this is what you don't just go and say, "Okay, sorry about your loss."
Yeah. When you're like, no, it's just a sprained ankle.
Yeah.
Like, now pull the plug. We're done.
Yeah. So that's not how that works,
Right.
right? So Tim brought up a valuable point. So what we have here is we have what you can pretty much say truth, and I'm going to tell you, and this is what I view as truth. And in a world that doesn't view this every truth as always truth, right? This is a hard conversation because it's pretty much a word salad. Because I'm saying the same word, but it can mean 2 different things, all right? And I'm pretty sure Pastor Tim agree that life begins at conception. Truth. That's true, right? Now, you can run through all your tests. You can run through everything that needs to be done to say it's not. But until I see that it's not, I'm going to believe that I am true.
We're going to need some objective facts here, and I've never seen any that would convince me otherwise.
And so then you go on and saying, well, then you're going to pretty much say, I'm pro-murder then. I am pro-murdering babies because it's a burden, all right? Well, then you're going to go into this complete morality change here. Is it morally okay to murder babies? Murder's pretty frowned upon, all right?
We tend to frown on that in this culture.
And I'm pretty sure, there's also, I also see, which is crazy, the amount of people that are non-religious, non whatever it is. There's like a Facebook page for non-religious people that are pro-life, all right? And they go on and they say, hey, even we are anti-murder, okay? So you don't need to have God necessarily to understand that murder's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Right? And in the world we live in today has actually proven that. Several people have proven that. That they find their morals on their own, but God written them on every man's heart, yada yada that. We can go into that in a later date. But okay, so now we find this to be, okay, that's incorrect. So if morals say it's wrong, but you say it's right, then you're wrong. You have an incorrect conclusion of the truth. If you think, well, I can murder this baby and it'll be fine.
And as a society, we have a right to say that. I mean, having visited many people in prison, the vast majority of the people are there who tell you they were right in what they did. Now, not all of them, I get that, but a number of them do. Where society turned around and said, nah.
Because society also sets a standard, and that standard is also what's held as truth. Just like how here in the U.S., unalienable rights. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness.
Right.
Life is the first one.
Right. And as a society, we want to defend that, particularly and most especially among the most vulnerable. Which a baby in the womb, you don't get a whole lot more vulnerable than that. Yes. So we as a society have a right to say, based on the objective evidence that we see, we think that this ought to be protected.
Yes. All right. This is just one big example that we spend a lot of time on.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time on this one.
Okay, but here's what I'm trying to get at. Say I'm going to be a pro-life person, all right? Yet I have nothing to stand upon when I get into an argument, when I get into a debate, as I should in the current climate that I'm in. I should at least, if I'm pro-life, I should, I'm going to defend my truth, right? It takes courage in the current world we live in, but you should.
Right,
okay?
and this harkens back to what we were talking about with Jim Jordan a little bit ago. Is we were disappointed in what he had to say about we're going to have to wait till 2024. I think I understand what he meant by that, but the suggestion is a little tough in that, well, we're just going to wait this out. And folks like Parker and I want to say, all right, now we're back to the accountability piece. We want better from you than that. And I think if we're going to get angry at any side, Parker and I should be angry at the pro-life side, because we can hold ourselves accountable, and people who think the way that we do. I don't know that getting angry at the pro-abortion side is going to accomplish anything, because we already know we disagree. Yeah. I don't need any anger to express that. But at the end of the day, we want to be able to say, look, if you're going to be on our side, and you want to say that you're pro-life, then you need to do something about that.
Yeah.
And if we're going to hold you accountable, you should be volunteering at the Family Life Center, and you should be donating to causes, and you should be pro-adoption, and all these different things are going to go into that. If you're going to be pro-life, then you've got to be participating in some of these other things, because if you're not, then people who are on the side ought to say, you need to do better. It's the same as a football team. If you got 8 guys doing well and 3 guys not, then the 8 guys ought to say to the 3 guys, you need to step up your game, because we're losing because of you. We're not losing because of what the other team's doing. They're only doing what they're supposed to be. We need to hold our own side accountable. And I'm afraid we're too busy shouting at the other side to realize we need to be on our own side saying, you need to either knock that off or you need to get in gear.
And you get blind followers. That's like saying you're blindfolding your quarterback, right?
Who are on your side and they don't even know why.
It's so if exactly, and that's a big problem.
A huge problem.
Because then you have a weak link in this.
We're here because of groupthink, or we're here because we think that Parker Miley is the coolest guy around. We want to do what he does. No, while I agree with that, that's not a good enough reason. You need to be able to take on the truth that we're talking about, to be able to adopt some of these positions and then respond to them. Because if you don't, you're just wearing the shirt.
Yeah.
You're just wearing the jersey. You're not playing on the team.
It's like saying, okay, this person, I agree with this much about him. So if he says, it's just like saying, all right, say I were to agree on 2/3 of what Tim stands for. Then Tim says something that I don't necessarily agree with, but since I agree with 2/3 of what Tim says, I'm going to still say yes. I'm pro whatever it may be. I'm pro Batman, like Tim. Tim and I agree on a lot of things, but Tim has an obsession with superheroes. I've never gotten into it.
It's just the truth.
It's just the truth.
Yeah,
That's exactly
and it's Parker's fatal flaw. I hope.
It's not going to be like, oh, I love Batman now. No, it's because Tim's Tim, and I'm and if I'm not going to jump onto this bandwagon just because Tim loves superheroes.
Clearly, nobody's perfect. but the idea is that if I would say something again, that he gave a goofy example, which works. Say something serious. I would say, well, maybe up to 24 weeks you can have an abortion. Parker needs to pull me aside and say, look, are you pro-life or not?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the conversation about that. Not that I would ever say that. But or if I would say, there's the Walk for Life was going on a few weeks ago, and I'm the president of the organization putting it on, and I'm like, I'd really rather play video games today or just not get involved because it was hot that day. Parker needs to be able to say, look, if you're going to be pro-life, you got to do something about it, and Walk for Life is going to be one of those things.
And this happens beyond the abortion debate. This happens within the church.
Yeah.
This happens within
anything that you feel strongly about.
Within whatever political realm you
whatever frustration you have needs to be pointed at your own side because we already know you're frustrated with the other side. And to not do that weakens your own argument. You now define yourself by the other side.
Yep.
And you'll never win any argument that way. You need to define yourself by your own side. And I can remember way back when I was playing sports a long, long time ago. One of the guys that came in to do a pep talk for us talked about how you should never define how well you can do based on the guy opposing you. It should never be the opposition who defines how good you are. So if you can go out in a game and score 95 points, you go score those points. Or if you can go out there and just, but if you're like, we're up by 2 touchdowns, we're going to pull back. That's not how it works.
No, so it's like saying, you're in a bad league, right? So say St. Mary's in the Western Buckeye League. Say St. Mary's was leaps and bounds ahead of every other team, and they're just going to say, well, we don't really have to try that hard.
Because eventually what's going to happen, you're going to come up against a juggernaut, and you're going to get destroyed.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yep.
And I'm afraid there's a lot of people who are bandwagoning some of these issues, and that's what's going to happen. As soon as the opposition comes,
and
they're not even going to know why they're on the team in the first place.
And if your side's weak, well, then there's no point in shouting at the other side. That's just how it goes.
Yes. That there's some truth for you. Yeah, if you don't know why you're on the side, then don't shout at the other side.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's kind of and that's kind of what's been on my mind a lot since Jim Jordan spoke, because that's in our hands. That's not in the hands of Jim Jordan. That's not in the hands of the president or anything like that. It's to say, because these debates are happening right here. It's happening within our families. It's happening within our friend groups. Everyone, look at it. Everyone's on social media in some way. You go into any comment section on any of those posts, and there's going to be debates. And if someone is going to make a claim and not have any right to defend it, and they're on my side, well, then we lost today.
Yes, we lost today. And if you're not holding your own team accountable, that's going to continue to happen.
Yep.
Where if all of our aggravation is at the other side, you're basically shouting into the Grand Canyon because, yes, we already know we don't agree with them. That's why the issue exists. But if you're going to hold either side accountable or try to get on somebody's case, it's got to be on your own side because that's how we build each other up. So,
And again, don't think this only resolves around this issue.
No, anything.
This is, this can go so clearly back into the church. If you're going to have a person of leadership that clearly doesn't know what they're supposed to be doing, you got to be focusing on your people before you go out and try to show that truth to other people.
All right, I'm going to close with this. Back when I was playing sports, back long before Parker was born, there were certain games that we would go into that would be hard-fought games where we would build each other up and we would barely push through and we'd win the game, and it was great. And I felt a great sense of accomplishment after those games. There were other games that we played teams that were so bad, all we had to do was get out of their way and let them lose the game for us, lose the game for them, so we would win. Those games were fun, but we never accomplished much. We didn't get better in those games. We would go to the next game and be not as well prepared because the last team provided no challenge. So if we're going to spend all this time, we're defining ourselves by the other side, we're not getting ready for the real challenges that are going to come along, and we're not making any kind of an impact. And that's the danger I feel in some of this polarization that we're dealing with today is we are defining ourselves by what we're against. And that's honestly not defining yourself at all. You're basically saying, I ain't them.
Mm-hmm.
That's a useless way to define yourself. So accountability. Nobody likes it. Nobody enjoys it. Nobody wants it. But you don't grow without it. So if you got somebody in your life or some cause you believe in or something you're training for or something you're studying for or working hard to try to get to, and you've got somebody holding you accountable, you may not like it, but you should appreciate them because they're making you better. So hang in there. And if you're going to be mad at the people on your side because that's how you hold them accountable.
Your like-minded colleagues.
Yeah. So have a great week, everybody.